Hello everybody, thank you so much for stopping by my channel. Today's video is going to actually be like I guess you can kind of call it a check-in. I did one of these last year. I'm also documenting this for myself so that I can kind of see the changes in the growth and what I did over a particular year and share with you guys. So, if you looked at my thumbnail, that was my hair last year in August of 2016. I think that was like the end of July, beginning of August of 2016. And I had recently chopped my hair in June for my birthday. So separate kind of story, but I went natural in 2012. I did not do a big chop. I cut my hair for the first time in 2015. I let it grow out for all of 2015, and in June of 2016 I cut it again. I did not cut it again this year in 2017 because I really do want to see how my hair will kind of grow back. Part of the reason that I cut it the first time is because I just felt like it was getting really unhealthy, and I want to now see if I can maintain a healthy kind of state of hair while growing it out as well. I guess one big thing that I would say I did this year that kind of helped my hair grow, I don't really know how much it grew. It's hard for me to tell because certain areas are longer and certain areas are shorter, but one thing that definitely helped my hair grow, or I believe helped my hair grow, was scalp massages. Now, I never did a scalp massage, whatever, with oil. I pretty much did it with just my hands. Like when I'm sitting around at home, I'll just go in like a circular motion, especially in areas that I know are dry. And what I start to notice, which is a good thing, is the oil that comes up on my fingertips, which lets me know that my scalp is producing enough natural oil. If you kind of rub your scalp like this, and there's no oil really coming off or anything like that, you might want to start to look for a product to help moisturize your scalp, because your scalp should be producing its own natural oils. We do put oils on top of our hair to kind of add to that, but you do want to have a base of natural oils for your scalp. So yeah, I would do this literally probably 3 or 4 times a day. It was kind of equivalent for me when I had my hair relaxed. I would brush my hair like 2 to 4 times a day. Just sit there like for a minute, because what that kind of helps to do, if you guys aren't familiar with it, is it circulates the blood, and when the blood is circulating, then there's growth. So you really want to make sure you're getting a lot of blood circulation on the scalp if you would like your hair to grow. The second tip that I will give you for what I noticed that helped my hair grow was, I think I mentioned this before in another video, but I'll mention it again, is sticking to a product line if you can. Now, if you get a new product or you switch over to a new product and you notice, like within the first, I would say with hair you could really notice stuff instantly, but usually for me it's like the second or third wash. If you notice that it's damaging your hair, or your hair is feeling drier, or it's just not responding well, then yeah, I would quit on that product. I wouldn't keep kind of going with it, because if your hair is already negatively responding within 2 or 3 weeks, it might not get much better. But I will say though that if you find, I will say though that if you find that within the first 2 or 3 weeks of using a product that your hair is responding to it, but it's not probably 100% where you want it to be, I would just stick with it. So the product line that I gave a try, which I started it in January, but is when I started consistently using a product, was TGIN. And after the first wash, it was like, oh, I don't really notice too much of a difference. It wasn't really till like the 4th or 5th wash and I started to notice that my hair felt a lot softer. So I would really just say stick with the product. If you find that it's not doing anything significant in the beginning, give it a minute to kind of work on your hair and stick with it. I really noticed in my prior years that I did a lot of like mixing a lot of different products and switching products too fast and going through like 4 or 5 different brands a year, which to me is a lot. And when I'm talking about products, I'm really talking about like co-wash, shampoo, conditioner, deep conditioner, leave-in. Styling products, I think you can change a little bit more, but I'm the type of products that are really like feeding your hair and helping your hair health-wise. I personally have not seen great things from me switching it all the time. And also to kind of piggyback of sticking with a product, I personally like to stick with a product line. Now, what I mean by that is, again, with like co-wash, conditioner, and leave-in, I like those 3 products to be from the same brand. If I find, though, that I have a deep conditioner that works like wonders no matter what, I won't switch that out. But I really do try to stick with the brand because those products are really designed to work well together. And I find that if I give them a full shot and I really, you know, give them a few months, use all the products that I could get for what I need to do my hair, and it doesn't work or doesn't do anything, then I know for good, like, that line is just not for me. But sometimes it's really hard to tell which product isn't working for your hair if you have 4 or 5 different things in your regimen, and it's harder to kind of cut out what's damaging your hair or your hair is not responding well to if you don't know which one it is. So that's why I kind of just recommend it's a lot easier, and I found that it helped my hair a lot more to just stick to a product. My third tip, and I kind of cheated on this tip, which I cheated a little bit, but I have cut out heat significantly. Starting in January of 2017, I cut out heat, and the first time I put heat back on my hair was in June for a wedding, and I didn't flat iron it, I just blow dried it very lightly just to stretch it out a little bit. But other than that, I haven't really been using heat. I've been finding that that's been somewhat helpful for my hair, just in terms of it staying moisturized and not drying out. But I don't think that heat is the enemy. I know a lot of people like to say that. I think it's how you use it, and I really think it's the amount of times that you use it. Blowing out your hair 2 or 3 times a year isn't really that bad in my opinion. I haven't really seen that affect my hair that negatively, but I really wanted to kind of challenge myself and try and go the whole year with no heat. I just think that if you are going to use heat on your hair, always follow up with a super good deep conditioner, a super good wash, and really like cater to your hair after that. I don't think it's good to have heat on your hair for a certain amount of time and be like, oh, I'm gonna skip my conditioner and I'm gonna do this. Like, I really like to protective style after I have my hair blown out. That's just what I like to do. That's what I find helps my hair, and I personally think that it's better for your hair that way because you're not putting so much stress on it after coming out of having heat on it. But that's just my opinion. I don't think heat is the enemy. Guys, as well, is really paying attention to your hair. I say this a lot in my videos, but I think that it's really vital when you want to achieve some, like, either growth or something particular with your hair, is to pay attention. Sometimes I think we wait a little too long to notice that our hair has been changing, but the fact of the matter is your hair doesn't just change overnight. So if you start to notice that your hair is getting a little drier than usual, even if it's just a slight, like tiny amount, pay attention to that. Try and figure out what that is, because odds are if you ignore it, it's like, oh, it's just a little bit drier, but it could have just been because XYZ. 3 months later, your hair has now shifted and is very dry, and now you have to kind of work to get it back to the way it was. So I always like to just pay attention to my hair. I was noticing, and it's getting better, but I was noticing that the center part of my hair back here was very dry, a lot drier than the rest of my hair. But it took me a minute to notice it, and now I'm in a point where I'm really having to cater to it. I'm really having to make sure that I put enough conditioner in that area and really leave it on, because it is, in a sense, damaged, and I have to now help it back to the where it was. So I would really just say, pay attention to your hair. Sit with your hair for a minute, feel it. Look at if you're natural, look at your curls. Do you notice that this curl is getting a little bit looser than the one over here? That's another thing that I noticed. I noticed that on the left side of my head, all of a sudden these curls up here had been like stretching out. And I was like, So I gave them a little extra TLC just to make sure that it wasn't something that I was doing that was damaging, because odds are your hair, it goes through phases, it changes, that's just life. Your skin does too. But I want to make sure that I'm doing everything that I can to cater to whatever it may be that is changing. So really just pay attention to your hair. Guys, that's pretty much the tips that I have for you for my year update on my hair length. I will be doing another one in probably 6 months or 8 months just to see where I'm at, and that one will probably go into a little bit more detail about certain things that I'm doing, because I don't really feel like this year I did anything drastic, but there were little steps that I made here and there that kind of helped my hair grow. If you like this video and you want to see more kind of talk through about my hair and my hair situation and advice, give this video a thumbs up. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in my next video.